Did you know that Hope No Hate recently did a survey in the UK which found that 45% of young men aged 16 to 24 have a positive view on Andrew Tate, yet 1% of women have the same view on Andrew Tate. 36% of men now believe that feminism has done more harm than good. So, welcome back to On The Verge YouTube channel. Today we're diving into the hit series that was on Netflix called Adolescence. Now, I'm guessing most of you will have seen this groundbreaking series on Netflix, and what I will say is if you haven't, then you need to. It's definitely an eye-opener. So you will have also heard that Keir Starmer said that it should be in every school. He also said we need to go into every school to address the dangers of misogyny. But most professionals will tell you that adolescence also covered the manosphere, so that's male rage, the loneliness epidemic, toxic masculinity, online safety, victim shaming, safeguarding, grooming, Incel, which is the involuntary celibacy, the 80-20 rule, which is 80% of women are only attracted to 20% of men, male entitlement, so that's if a man gives a female attention then she should accept it. There was also bullying, conspiracy, emotional neglect, the dopamine hit, and instant gratification. So does Keir Starmer not think that these are also just as important? So can someone explain to me how are they going to actually do all that? Listen, I understand that after watching it on Netflix, everyone will be saying we need to flood the schools with interventions on misogyny. But I've just explained that there's so much more. Look, please believe me, this will just be another tick box exercise. Please guys, just don't bite. Please don't bite. So, the non-negotiable power of relationship building. Now, relationship building is not optional. It is the foundation of meaningful engagement with young people and children. Change takes real work, real time, and real effort. Yet we often try to bypass it, dismissing its importance. But let's be clear. Without strong relationships, nothing else truly works. If you don't genuinely know the students you work with, you will never have the depth of conversation needed to address their struggles. Young people need to feel seen, heard, and valued. Without that, they'll not open up. This knee-jerk reactions and one-size-fits-all interventions don't just fail, they actively damage trust and prove that we aren't truly listening. We need a cultural shift in education. Staff training and upskilling in student engagement should not be optional. It must be compulsory. Every teacher must understand the cultural realities and lived experiences of the young people they teach. This knowledge must inform our approach, because how can we truly support students if we don't even know what they're actually going through? Now, the solution isn't simply delivering assemblies on misogyny or lecturing young people about social issues. These conversations will not land unless there is a foundation of trust. Young people are trust-led. They will only engage in the difficult discussions we need them to have when they know that we genuinely care. We can talk endlessly about youth issues, write reports and debate trends, but the real impact happens on the ground, in the relationships built through everyday interactions. When we go into schools and work with students, which we do a lot, good things happen. But when we work with staff to create lasting cultural change, that's when transformation takes place. We must face the real elephant in the room. Young people will not engage, listen, or trust until we break the deadlock of poor relationship building. Once we get this right, they will not only participate in these tough conversations, but they'll actually drive them forward, giving schools the insight they need to create real lasting solutions. Now, this series doesn't actually blame anyone. It actually encourages conversation between families. I believe that it's been a long time in the making. Finally, someone has stepped up and announced that it's really happening and how important this subject is to the nation, to the world. It's not just about protecting girls and women from men and boys that have been groomed and manipulated to think like this, or like thinking how it was in the program, which can I just say is important to protect females, yes, but it's also about protecting men and young boys from even watching and going down this path. Parents and carers need to understand that just because your child is in their bedroom doesn't necessarily mean they're safe. Um, the dangers are on the mobile phones, the consoles, the laptops, and they will not be aware of what their child is watching. A parent or carer should not be afraid to be nosy. Forget about upsetting your child by looking at their phone. Do it. Remember, if you pay the bill, technically, you own the phone. You could have the password to the Apple ID or the Play Store. So if your child wants to download something, and that means if they want to download an app, then they must come to you for you to put in the password. That way you will get to see exactly what apps they are using, and what I personally liked about the show is that it made you question yourself, never gave you easy answers to anything. I believe this program would inspire debate, and it has. You couldn't pick one thing out and think, oh, this is what it is. Even parents at the end of the series began to analyse and question their parenting skills, even though their daughter was fine. We need to understand that the effects are on young people that are exposed to this type of material. You'll find that it is harder to avoid this type of content than what it is not to. Parents and carers should have open conversations with the children. A child must feel that they can speak to their parents about anything, especially if they come across content which was talked about in this drama. If your child is worried about what they have seen online, you should be the person they turn to for advice and guidance. Now, on the Verge, we've come up with a 10-point plan for parents and carers of how to keep your children safe online. Now, we could have used more, we could have used 20. However, we tried to keep it to 10. It's quite easy to remember. Now, what we'll say is this is number one, excuse me. Number one, be aware that bedrooms are not always safe. Just because your child is physically at home does not mean they are protected from online dangers, or harmful content is accessible through mobile phones, gaming consoles, and laptops. Number two, stay actively involved in their online life. Take an interest in what your child is, what they're doing online. Ask about the websites they visit, the apps they use, and the people they interact with. Especially the younger generation, the ones that are in primary school, even more so. Please believe me, you'll be very surprised the amount of young people that are under the age of 13 using these social media apps. Number three, don't be afraid to check their devices. As a parent and carer, you have the right to monitor your child's phone and online activity. If you are paying for their device, you are responsible for how it is used. Number four, control app downloads with passwords. Set up a requirement where your child must get your approval before downloading any new app. Like I said before, having the password to their Apple ID or Play Store account ensures that you can review and assess apps before they are installed. You can read feedback, you can read what people have written about them. Number 5, encourage open conversations. Create a safe space where your child feels comfortable discussing anything they come across online. They should know they can turn to you for advice without fear of judgment or punishment. Number 6, educate them about online risks. Help your child understand how certain content, particularly harmful or manipulative material, can affect their thinking, emotions, and behaviour. Teach them how to recognise red flags. Number 7, discuss the impact of exposure to harmful content. Now, young people may not always realise how exposure to certain online material can shape their views and behaviours. So talk to them about the long-term consequences of consuming dangerous content. Number 8, set clear boundaries for screen time and internet use. Establish rules around when and where devices can be used. Encourage device-free time, particularly before bed, to limit exposure and allow time for reflection and conversation. Number 9, use parental controls and privacy settings. So you can activate content restrictions and parental controls on devices, social media platforms, and gaming consoles to limit exposure to inappropriate material. And again, if your child is in primary school, they are not legally allowed to have any social media at all. Number 10, regularly reevaluate and adapt your approach. The online world is constantly changing. Keep learning, keep learning new trends, apps, risks. Adjust your approach to online safety accordingly. Being an informed and proactive parent is key to protecting your child. So as always, I always give my final thoughts. So for me, while the Adolescence series has opened an important door to public dialogue around misogyny, the real work begins long after the credits have gone. The Keir Starmer calls to bring the series into schools may be well intentioned, but without a foundational shift in how we engage with young people, it risks becoming just another headline grabbing initiative with no lasting impact. We cannot simply drop in, deliver an assembly, and expect real change. Young people are not passive sponges, they are emotionally intelligent and deeply perceptive. They only know when something is going wrong, and once they do, then they disengage accordingly. If we are serious about tackling misogyny, harmful online influences, and an emotional well-being of young people, then we must first tackle the real issues, the breakdown in trust between young people and the systems meant to support them. The non-negotiable foundation of any effective intervention is meaningful, consistent relationship building. No shortcut exists until every adult working with children understands the cultural context, lived realities, and emotional landscape of those that they work with, or they serve, or they teach. We will continue to fail them. This isn't just about protecting girls and women, though that is crucial and important. It's about protecting boys as well from the grooming, from manipulation, and a digital world that can twist their worldview before they've even had a chance to build one of their own. By protecting males, therefore, we protect females from this harmful content that they've been seeing. Parents and carers must be just as involved. Bedrooms are always safe, and silence doesn't equal safety. Monitoring, Open conversations and healthy boundaries are not overreactions, they are essential parenting in a digital age. The Adolescence series may have sparked a national conversation, but transformation only happens on the ground, in homes, in classrooms, and in the quality of relationships we build. Let's not fall into the trap of quick fixes and viral solutions. Let's use this moment as a catalyst for deeper long-term cultural change that prioritizes trust, empathy, and genuine engagement. Because when young people feel known and seen and supported, they won't just talk, they'll lead the change themselves. What I will say is this: if used correctly, the internet can be a very powerful, helpful, educational, and can be safe. But is the internet part of the wider problem? Hate has always been there, and so has racism, but what that would have just been a little niche. But now that has the internet, which has given the ability for it to be broadcasted worldwide. Just like oxygen to fire, the internet might not be the cause, but it is the deliverer. So, if you found this video valuable, or if you know someone that will benefit from this, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share. It really does help bring more voices into these discussions. So I'll see you on the next one. Until next time, take care.